Okay.
We can. The people can't hear us, so
we're live, mother.
We are live. Hey, y'all. All right. We're gonna eat our words tonight.
That's what we
Guess
do.
so.
We're gonna eat a big old humble pie tonight.
Wah, wah, wah.
Y'all are gonna enjoy this. You're all gonna enjoy this. It's what Christians got to do, right?
That's right.
You got to eat some humble pie sometimes. They're on fire today. So, yeah, let's give an update. Let's just jump into it. First, I guess let's do a little intro and say hi to everybody. And then we're going to jump into
we are actually live, Wilmer. Yes,
Wilmer, we're live. Are you live, Wilmer? Hey, like that.
Now, we're with the comments and everything like that, we're going to be talking about we're going to try to stay on our points.
We're going to stay on point,
y'all. Okay, so y'all just
Texas mom,
y'all hang out, and we're not ignoring you.
Patriarchy to an egalitarian live stream.
We're just trying to make editing easier for ourselves later on.
Y'all.
So good evening. Okay. So let's just jump into it this evening. But before we do, we're going to give a shout out to what's going on over at the website.
Over at the website? What do you mean? What's going
Anything
on?
new? Anything new? What's new on the website?
Not much. We got all of the honeys restocked, though. So all of our 1 gallons are restocked. And everything like that.
Are we still offering our courses, our parenting and
our courses are up and they are available. The parenting course and the young men's course, they will launch on the 30th, will be the 30th of this month. Yeah. But if you sign up early, you do get an extra session with us. So there is incentive to go ahead and sign up early. And all of the details are over there on TheTexasBoys.com. You could look into each course description and find out everything that you want to know about it. And we just hope to be a blessing and encouragement to parents and the boys, to young boys and men. Yeah. So,
and our website and our businesses don't support any of this crap. And we openly will tell it to you straight.
There's no rainbows.
Yeah, there's no rainbows on
at the TexasBoys.com.
We're unafraid.
We are not afraid.
We're unashamed.
So there you go.
Unashamedly Christian. So let's just jump into it tonight. So we had some news that I came across last week, and I shared it with y'all that I had come to a conclusion last week that all of my local grocery options, which y'all, at this point, our grocery shopping is such to a minimum. We used to share grocery shopping hauls and all of that, and our grocery shopping is literally fruit, fresh fruit, frozen fruit, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the only thing that we get at the grocery store at this point, because all of our meats are from the farm, and there's going to be a lot more information coming out on that very soon here in the future.
You might be able to buy some meats if you're local.
Yes, we have some really exciting news and growth here on the farm with that.
Rubio, I know you're local, so you might be able to buy some whole cows.
Yes, we're looking forward to once a month offering a whole cow and a whole pork for our local community. So that's going to be exciting coming forward. But just to say that our grocery shopping is very, very limited. Praise the Lord. We've been working really hard towards that goal for several years now. But it came to my attention that all of my grocery shopping options, Aldi, Brookshire's, of course, all of the main chains, the big box stores, all of them are all have DEI practices and policies in place.
Brookshire's used to be super solid. The parents were awesome, even prepper people. They were legit. They're like home offices, like Bunkerville, but not anymore.
So there's a couple other companies. There's a couple other stores I don't know if the price points will be viable for us as a large family. As far as getting fresh produce, that's really what we're looking for at this point. And I don't really know. So, and I don't know if they have DEI practices and policies in place as well. So that'll be the first question that I ask them. And I got a lot of people that, weren't happy that I asked Azure the questions. And I said that I feel like we as consumers have every right to ask the questions.
Yeah, the article was written had all the buzzwords. And granted, I realize we're living in a postmodern clown world
Sure.
2.0 and definitions are hijacked and all that stuff. But we can at least, question everything, of course.
You have to question things. And there's nothing wrong with
logical people do.
Most of the time people are encouraged that you're actually asking those questions.
The comment section was scary on that video. It
was cultic.
It was a war zone.
Yeah, and I said that I wasn't giving any conclusions.
Right.
I was just saying, here's what I looked up. I looked up DEI and Azure. I was trying to see if they had any policies in place because I don't know. They're halfway across the country. I have no idea if they are, what they really are out there. So I was just looking it up online, and this is the article that I found. It's on their website.
DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion, and this is some new woke policy.
Right.
And you can watch lots of videos
and
on
it's inclusion of everybody except for Christians.
Right. Inclusion of everybody except people that want humanity to continue to exist in some type of normal fashion.
Even exclusion of Christians, to the point that they think that we are
excluding Christians.
Right. They think we are a hate group. So, which is not true. We don't hate anybody. So anyway, I called out there to Azure because I am diligently seeking other options. If my family wants to have fruit, I mean, we do have a lot of fruit trees around here, y'all.
Yes, we do.
And we can eat fruit in season, and I can can fruit, and we can just eat canned fruit the rest of the time. We have no problem with that. But if there are options to buy fresh fruit still, I mean, I would like to still do that while we can do that.
That'd be nice.
So I called and I asked the lady who answered the phone, I said, does your company have, we're looking to make some changes in where we purchase our food from, and I would like to shop with y'all, but I just want to know, do you have a DEI policy in place? And she said, can you explain more about it? And I said, I just said, with all the things going on in the country and the way that companies are going woke with different things, where do you stand on? And I gave a few terms that I don't have freedom of speech to say here on this TheTube.
Transformers.
Right.
Transformers.
So I
Decepticons.
So I said, do you cater to this certain, demographic or whatever, and she just said, we are open. Our company has an open policy. And I said, open as in you're accepting of, of course, we're accepting of everybody. And so I was just,
if you don't talk in vague generalities, obviously you want everybody that doesn't think exactly like you to die.
Right. And this is kind of what we have created is this. Sad. You can't get straight answers from companies anymore either because they're so afraid to answer because they've weaponized everything against us. So I asked a few more questions and I was trying to get an answer, and basically I just kind of gave up and said, okay, thank you. I guess I'm taking away from that they are liberal in their policies. Like I don't but she never really said if they have a DEI policy or not. So I couldn't get an answer. So what I did this afternoon was I called my local coordinator for pickup for Azure Standard because we have ordered from them in the past. And I I talked to her for quite a while on the phone, and I asked her every question, every which way that I could think of, and she was very honest with me, and
We have to share a mic, okay?
And she was just saying that,
I'm loud.
she was just saying that as far as she knows, to her best ability, she's just a coordinator, for a drop off. But everything, the information that she gets, which is the information that everybody within Azure Standard gets, it's all the same information. She said she has not seen anything that would make her think that they have gone woke. So I said, okay. And you haven't seen any type of like diversity letters or like flyers with rainbows this month or anything like that. She said, no, they haven't seen anything like that. So she said, and she said, I'm not tied to Azure Standard. She's like, if they go woke, I'm done. Like I have no problem cutting the tie and going on to something else. Like, but she was very appreciative that I called and I took the time to ask her all the questions. And she said, it's just an encouragement to me that,
people care,
enough to ask.
And you'll have the conversation.
Yeah.
The bizarre thing. Okay. So our Azure standalone video was an excerpt from a larger video. We're trying to chop things up into bite-sized pieces so that people can consume the content more readily, share it and whatnot. And that particular block, it was just a question. We referenced something on their website.
Had a question mark at the end.
It was very rather spuriously written, and maybe in that genre when it was written, maybe it did make more sense and it was a lot of buzzwords or whatever.
Or maybe they had some college kid write it up, and maybe the college kid that wrote it up was saying all of those things that they weren't purposefully saying.
I mean, in Clown World 2.0, it said all the right things.
I know, for real. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just...
So she said to send her, my drop point Azure person said to please email her that post. And I said, I will definitely send that to you. She said, I would be really interested to look at it. She just gave me a lot of different examples of interactions that she's had with the people up there, and just knowing different family members and different people up there. She said now the company has expanded quite a bit. So she said, as far as like hiring policies and as far as like, of course, who buys the food? She said maybe the woman that answered the phone was thinking, which I don't know if this is the case or not, but maybe she was thinking that you were just calling as a customer and you were asking her, do they discriminate against certain people from buying their food? And so maybe there was a miscommunication in what I was saying and how she was perceiving my questions. I don't know. But this lady made me feel a whole lot better, and she is our local contact person. So at this point, I am really feeling really confident in going ahead and making a purchase with Azure. This is why it also makes sense for us now, and it didn't 2 years ago, is because now we actually have a local drop off.
Correct.
And prior to that, our drop off was about an hour away. Right. And during that time, there was massive shortages. So what happened was
brutal trying to order something. They never had anything.
Nothing was in stock. And then when you went to pick it up, you would go, and this was happening all over the country because of the shortages, but you would drive there and then you'd wait 45 minutes or whatever for everything to get off the truck. And then you'd find out that nothing that you ordered came, or one thing came and you ordered 10 different things. So it was just not the wisest way for me to use my time. And definitely gas was a thing back then because gas was going crazy. And so gas is back under control. We have a local drop now that is way closer.
And
I'm
this, all
very,
of this,
very, very
yeah,
close.
all of this will be interesting because the long game is ESG and DEI. And look, y'all, if you don't know what these acronyms are, please use the Brave search, okay? Because, you know, it's fine to ask questions, but, you know, there's an inordinate amount of information that's readily available. And don't be lazy, okay, please. I mean, we want to give out information, but you can't show up late and they say, what's that? Okay, but, you know, no, I'm not mad, but listen, I'm trying to help you, okay? The end game is, if you aren't, super transformers are awesome and we all need to transform, right? So that way, you know, the population collapses, okay? If you're not that, they will debank you. Yep. So if Azure is going to not toe the line, which I'm happy about, then they will be debanked ultimately, right? And so this is where all the parallels come in. Parallel community, parallel economy. Like Christopher was saying, it's a perfect opportunity for a community. This is what we're trying to do here.
And here's the thing. Hey, you can share with me. I'll share with you.
Well, I was sharing with Matt, but I'll share with you.
I'd rather share with you.
You smell better than him. He smells a little musky.
Well, I was brush hogging on the tractor, so.
He smells brush huggy.
But I did get a shower afterwards.
Oh, maybe I was just saying that to make you feel self-conscious.
Probably just smelling yourself.
Maybe I was. Well, I use a salt crystal, and I don't smell.
You know what they always tell me? Working for a living.
Working for a living.
No, they don't sing the song, but they always tell that. I said, "What have y'all been doing? Working for a living."
She's Carrie.
So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing an Azure order. I will share it with you when we do an order and how that all goes. Our biggest thing, like I said, right now that we are buying is produce, and that's just because our garden isn't producing quite yet, and it's not quite fruit season yet. But when fruit season comes on, then that will be
getting close, y'all. I've been picking Primark blackberries and they're yummy.
Yes. So you were talking about community, and another thing that she was sharing with me when I was talking to the drop coordinator was that a really wonderful thing that happens here at our local pickup is that, and I'm sure this is everywhere, but people actually get to, the ones who want to interact, and you get to know people, and you get to, there is kind of a sense of community there. And I love that. I love any time we can engage in our local community and build those relationships, because that's how we start to learn. Oh, you're growing green beans. Oh, cool. Bring the extra green beans next week. Oh, you're looking for some pork to put in your freezer. Yeah, just give me a holler next month. I'm going to have a pork available for you, or whatever. That's how we start to build those.
Yeah, and we need to build this community. You know, that's what me and Chris at Financial Prepper were talking about, and alternative forms of communication, you know, as they choke us in different things. You know, we need to be able to stay in some type of communication. And that's why we're attempting to try to build these networks. And, you know, through our 2 courses, we're using Telegram, and we'll probably start implementing some more Telegram groups just to stay in communication with y'all. We can communicate back and forth. We got lots of great Texans on here. Stephanie Noose, Judy Inman. Yes. So we're growing our local network.
Yes.
And we need to stay in communication with each other, because as the squeeze goes down, now look, maybe there will be enough of societal pushback. What bothers me is there is the supposed illusion of, you know, we outnumber them. And I do believe that that's true. But unfortunately, some people are way too busy, I don't know, watching TV and playing video games. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't want people to miss your beauty.
Well, it's just weird.
Well, I'd rather them hear you
better.
than see you.
There you go.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You got to be careful with her mic too, because it's a little.
I know.
It's a little.
Oh, it's that mic. Is that the problem?
Yeah, I turned it up a little bit.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay.
So now you're
so that's
using
not
it,
too
so-
hot. I got you.
Yeah, it's
Good
a little
point.
hot.
Yeah.
So now you're yelling at people. he's
Yeah.
saying.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, I scare people. So, but you know, this is why we want to create these type of communities and grow this virtual community, for lack of a better term, which this virtual community has grown our real community,
Yep.
which is neat, you know, and you know, we need to have parallel access, you know, like as we have beef and pork come online, right? And you all can have access to that. Well, if we can't communicate, we're not going to be able to facilitate that, right? And that's why we want to do that, because not only does obviously it benefit us, but as the squeeze drops, you know, it's going to benefit y'all too. And you're going to have access to food.
Yes.
Like real food that's edible.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think the cool thing is that, you know, we're really honest about our beliefs and what our takes are on this stuff. And, you know, we can be like, yeah, we're not woke. We don't prescribe to all this crap.
I don't think there's any harm in asking the questions.
Right.
No.
And we can still ask questions
Yeah.
and not have to get all like culty-ish.
Yeah. And
or
if somebody
caddish
was
or
going
weird.
to go to the TexasBoys.com and give us an email or whatever and be like, hey, do y'all support all this stuff?
Right.
And I would respond back and I would give you a clear response.
Sure. Yeah. And it's important because people are looking for ways to spend their money, and we want to support like-minded groups. And the thing is, we don't want to build the beast any bigger than it is. It's already coming crashing down on our heads.
Trying to chain that thing right now.
That's kind of part of it. And this lady was very encouraged that I would even ask the questions. And I told her, you know, we stopped shopping at Tractor Supply a couple years back because, you know, we found out about the things that they were doing, and they have a DEI policy, and you can check it out. You can see all of the things that they put on and stuff. And, you know, we love our local Tractor Supply people. We know them all first name basis. It's not them. It's coming up from corporate. It's not our local Tractor Supply. I get it.
And I promise you, they're going to blame us when the stock market crashes. Oh, all you conservatives boycotted all these companies and you crashed the stock market.
Yeah.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Somebody's saying about our meat. So when our meats come out, it's going to be once a month. We're going to start just one cow and one pork a month.
They will not be vaccinated.
No vaccines, no medications, unless if like the animal was sick and something had to be intervened for the sake of the animal's life.
But then we wouldn't be selling it to the public.
But other than that, no. I mean, you know, they get wormer.
They get dewormer once a year.
And that's it. That's the only thing.
That's the only.
So, and that's for both
and I take dewormer. So there you go.
There you go.
And the cows.
Not a bad idea.
As clean as we can make it be.
Yeah.
And y'all can email us if you're local or close enough and you're interested. We can start a waiting list for that.
We can do it.
Just let us know. It's going to be whole, but we'll get onto that.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that in a telegram or something. I don't know. Yeah, we're.
Oh, yeah, you could do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
it'll be a whole cow or a whole pig, about 400 pounds for a whole.
And if that's like too much for you, you could go in with another family.
Yeah, you could split it. And
and
it's a USDA butcher, and we want to coordinate it so that you meet us at the butcher and you pick it up.
Right.
And that way, everything is kosher, as
above
they say.
Board.
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Correct.
So, so anyway, I guess that's the end of the Azure saga. I gave you my reasons for why I didn't buy from Azure. Well, we put in a couple orders in the past, but why I didn't buy regularly from Azure before, because it just didn't make sense.
And we were called Azure trolls, by the way.
And then back then, everybody hated on me.
Take it with an organic grain of salt.
But then this time, I just wanted to be sure
Bless your heart.
before I, you know, it's a big deal for a big family. You know, it's probably going to be, you know, some people spend like $800, $1,000 a month on Azure stuff. And that's a big deal. That's a big lump of money, just like Tractor Supply. When you got a bunch of critters and you're putting in, $500, $1,000 a month in a company, I want to know that they're not putting on shows that are inappropriate for children. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. That's just the thing of it. So,
crazy.
So I think that's it. I don't think we need to say anything more about that. We could probably
Christopher, we were just talking about we might do it on Telegram. We don't have
one set up
No,
yet.
we were
pontificating.
Right.
Yeah.
Telegram we have set up for the 2 courses.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll
organic salt.
Yeah, you'll get into them when you purchase the courses. So anyway, I guess we can go on to our next topic.
Oh boy, here we go. I had a topic, but they didn't like it.
Well, I have a topic.
No,
there
we're not
we go.
Doing that one.
We're doing.
You don't know what my topic is. You don't know what our topic is.
You don't know what our topic is.
My
topic, not my topic.
Your topic.
I have a topic, and I think you'll like it.
Let's go.
Okay.
Don't get us canceled. We currently have no strikes, y'all.
Okay, tonight we are going to be talking about carnivore. The carnivore diet.
Okay, y'all listen.
Wait,
no. We do have to talk about
Here
this.
we go.
No. Okay, Matt is my witness.
Why I'm so excited about carnivore and how it fits into our
Let me explain how
homestead.
God works in mysterious ways, y'all.
And he has humor too.
And God is good. He does have a sense of humor. And
wow, that was really loud. I'm sorry. I was really loud.
My wife, that wasn't very meek and quiet of you, by the way.
I was just excited about carnivore.
She's very excited about carnivore. If you haven't noticed, she started eating some meat and got some nutrient-dense nutrition and got all excited. I think her biceps are showing now. But this is a great conversation because, now look, my wife probably had severe thyroid cancer.
Most definitely.
And the Lord healed her from that. And through Gerson therapy and lots of fruit and vegetable juicing and doing like much more plant-based and green-based things, right?
Yep.
It was incredibly beneficial.
Yes.
But my area of concerns with the veganism hysteria, with the cross-pollination of the E.G. White, like blasphemous stuff integrated into the veganism and all the veganism, cultism and Bill Gates pea protein and all that stuff. And
I'm coming at it from a sustainability and prepper standpoint.
Correct.
And that was the same angle that I was coming at it from, because my point is that there's no level of veganism that is sustainable, period. It is impossible to sustain veganism where you're getting an appropriate amount of nutrition, where you're not going to look like Gollum, right? Or, some kind of rejected troll from Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
And and no offense to any vegans out there. I'm just trying to paint a picture. I'm trying to paint a mental picture.
All of our vegan friends.
To all of our vegan friends.
Wow.
Bienvenue. No.
Wow.
But so anyway,
he'll apologize later.
Dr. Berg, there's lots of guys online that are pointing out carnivore, omnivore, different the lion diet, right?
Yeah.
And then even Jordan Peterson and Michaela Peterson, they've been able to overcome very detrimental and systemic long-term disease, and these things have been eradicated by doing these type of mono diets that are nutrient dense.
Yeah, what's the new Homestead guy that I've been watching? And
Homestead Hal.
Homestead Hal.
You
gotta check him out.
And Faith has been text bombing me Homestead Hal videos on his carnivore journey. And his story is just like Jack Spirico's at the Survivalist podcast, just like Dr. Berg, just like all these other carnivore people. It's just like Jordan and Michaela Peterson. And I would say there is much more anecdotal and very real, perceivable, just basic observation that they're, and this is, some of these carnivore people are not even eating organic, y'all, and they're still seeing like dramatic health improvements.
Right.
And it has a lot to do just with good fats and nutrient dense food.
Well, and also just not consuming a bunch of garbage, unnecessary carbs and just junk food too.
Correct. Processed sugar.
Yeah. Just starting it out as an elimination diet where they eliminate everything that they were normally eating.
And then your body just goes into a super detox.
Sure.
And the reason that I was always, I used to be a muscle head and did all the stuff. And I remember, and I've been reading about diet and nutrition for a very long time. And it's been one of my things, one of my hobby things that I enjoy. And there's always been weird contrarian stuff. There was Atkins, right? And I did Atkins, and I know that it works. And I knew all of the quote unquote science behind it and evidence behind it. Right. And then as I was protein loading, you can't do that. You're going to damage your liver, right? And your kidneys and ketosis, right? And back then, and I was in my early 20s, and I'm like, if I could possibly damage my liver or kidneys, I would have done it and I'd be dead, because I was ultra loading protein and I was drinking hundreds of grams of protein and I was eating steaks and hamburgers and I was eating like 5,000 to 10,000 calories a day, and I'm like, I can promise you that ketosis is impossible. Then you fast forward 15 years and then keto is actually a thing, and it's like its own thing. Right. And it's just like, so much of the, and then we do know that people groups eat certain ways. And we do know that when you're in a certain climate, like, look, you don't have a choice. The only type of foods that you can store are these meat foods for long-term storage. And in the wintertime, that's what you're eating.
Right.
You're not eating any salad. It ain't happening. It's an impossibility. Like, so you either eat this meat and do that over a long period of time, or you die.
Right. Well, and I think what's happened for me, I think a few different things came together even last week in the grocery situation, right? And then me thinking, okay, so this is phase 1. They're putting into place the DEI policies. Phase 2 is that they actually implement these DEI policies and they phase us out. They phase out the Christians who are not going to be lenient towards, like, we're not going to, go against what we believe. We're not going to, denounce our Christendom, we're not going to denounce Christ. We're going to just say, no, I'm sorry, So that will be, I think, phase 2. And the banking system and all of the things and the credit card
CBDC,
systems and all that will all be, and digital currency. And the way that they track and trace everything and the social credit score and all of that will come together to work against us with the DEI stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, so in light of all of this, how do I provide food for my family, right? Because that's my role as being a mother and a wife. So then what does my pantry look like? What does my preps look like? And I just keep seeing more and more of these carnivore people that are fine. Like, they're fine. They're thriving. They're doing great. And so I'm like, well, I know, like,
and that was the conspiratorial in me, right? Is I'm like, they're smashing nutrient dense protein because they don't want people storing it because it's real and it works and it's healthy and it's nutritious. So if we tell everybody you need to eat like grass and pea protein and lentils and all this stuff, not that you can't eat that stuff, not that it's not good for you.
Sure. Yeah.
But none of this ultra processed vegan stuff.
It's not sustainable.
And it's all the ultra processed vegan stuff is crap.
Right. Well, even the whole food stuff, it's not sustainable within a family.
It's not storable. Correct.
I'm not going to be able to grow enough of these certain
enough
things
calories
for
yes
8 people.
Mm-hmm.
I would need acres and acres to grow wheat and lentils and all that kind of stuff to feed all these people. So, but I can grow meat, right? And we do grow meat
very easily.
And we've been working towards that. Praise the Lord. The boys have been working towards that for the past several years and building up their herd of Longhorn. And we pick up other young cows as we
have a good community network
access to them. And we raise them up on our land and they eat grass and they're healthy. And then we put them in the freezer when the time comes, right? So I'm thinking we can do that, right? So if we can thrive on meat, how much of a break does that give me as a mom, like mentally? What peace that brings. I just praise the Lord for his provision, that that just gives me such peace that I don't have to prep everything else. I mean, I do have a stocked pantry, and it's I've worked very hard at getting it all stocked up, and it's very good. It's diverse enough that it needs to be. But when I see people just thriving on just meat, I'm like, I can take a breath. Like, I can relax because we have cows and we have a pig farmer, and we can get meat, and I have chickens and I have ducks, and we can eat meat and my family can be fine. And if we can get some fruit from our fruit trees and we can eat that while it's in season and can it and freeze it and put it away, even better. And if we can find a bag of oats somewhere and somebody will sell us a bag of oats, praise the Lord.
Right. Yeah. And we're certainly not anti-veggies. And I have a 400 fruit tree food forest that I have every intention of eating every last fruit imaginable.
We really enjoy fruit. So if we have it, if we don't have it, there's that peace, y'all, that, I don't know. It just brings a great bit of peace, I think. And how easy is it to prep one thing? Prepping one thing, meat, is a whole lot easier than thinking that I have to prep everything under the sun, So anyway, that's just where my brain's been at since last week. And we have been implementing it a little bit more since last week. We usually eat meat once a day anyway. Usually we will eat meat with dinner, but now I've just been having meat for breakfast.
And where I usually do, since I've had the lab leak, I've been taking many extra vitamins first thing out the back, along with my dewormer. So, but I usually intermittent fast. So like when I intermittent fast, I don't eat at all day. And when I come home, I want to consume mass pounds of protein.
Right. So it works out really good. And I think it'll work out well. I know that it's good for you. I mean, it's just the mental getting over the idea of all of the other things, but we still have a pantry and, we can still enjoy some things right now for the time being, but just mentally getting our mind to the place that if we don't have those things, we're still going to be okay.
Like a steak with the side of a steak.
Whatever it takes.
So, so tonight for dinner, we just did 3 pounds of ground beef, and that'll be dinner. We'll, put some salt and pepper on it, and that'll be dinner. And I think there was some rice somebody is heating up on the side. Somebody said,
well, you were like, oh, we're only eating beef tonight. And I'm like, that's great, but I would like some rice or something on the side.
It's going to be, I think, a process of and while we have stuff, that's great that we have it, but mentally making that transition of we don't have to have it either. And we still, we have our fruit smoothies in the afternoon, which is totally not carnivore, but we have fruit and we have water and we can make a fruit smoothie, and I'm still going to have my green juice because it makes me feel really good. But I'm really excited about just that freedom.
Chris said fermented dill sauerkraut. I do want to introduce more fermented foods into our diet just for gut health. I think that's really good, especially with, doing meat. I think getting those probiotics would be great.
Yeah.
So we gotta continue to, and for long-term storage and all that kind of cool stuff. It's interesting how synergistic all those things are. It's funny how God did that.
Yeah. So we're just saying that too, that we could encourage somebody that if you're overwhelmed with prepping or the grocery situation and your food options and all of that stuff, just if that's something that you would consider, maybe is just to focus on meat. That makes it really simple, even if it's a matter of finding a local farmer or finding somebody around you and, procuring a cow and getting the freezers in place. I mean, that's what we had to do. And that meant that I had to give up my laundry room and turn it into a freezer room. And if that's, just getting things in place to do that, and now, praise the Lord, we're, in a position that we can actually grow out some extra meat as well and be able to offer that to people at a good price and help be a blessing to other people, other families, so they can put some meat in their freezers as well. That is just abundance. And
Nikki said, eating can be simple. It's in most cultures worldwide. And, that's what we've been trying to eat more whole and simple, and it makes life less complicated, doesn't have to be this 6-course meal or anything crazy like that. It's a very simple thing. And you know what, when you're starving, it's never a 6-course meal,
No. And we've been eating simple farm food and eating from our pantry for years now. And even I'm sure I thought this the other night, oh, it'd be so funny to go back and watch like grocery hauls from like years ago when I was pregnant and stuff, like the stuff that we bought back then. That would be so funny. So, I mean, it's been a progression, but I think there comes crossroads where you just have to challenge yourself and you just have to say, okay, let me make some decisions and wrap my mind around this,
So Catherine, one of my fig friends, she said, I eat 95% veggies, mostly fish and meat, lost 35 pounds in 5 minutes, shrunk a tumor the size of a golf ball. Praise the Lord.
Wow.
I think if cancer's involved, you need veggies. Yep. And that's what we were saying about the Gerson therapy. And y'all really need to look into ivermectin because there's a lot of studies about ivermectin and colon cancer. I got a great friend that's dealing with spinal cancer, and I told him about the Gerson therapy and be praying for him.
And you told him about ivermectin.
Yeah, and I told him about ivermectin and Peter's honey fig. My Peter's honey fig tree died. Then Jim said, I've been on this for 11 months. I eat meat only and have lost 100 pounds, off all meds, diabetic, high blood pressure, and no more asthma shots and inhalers. And I can't tell you, I've heard 100 testimonies about just like that.
And I think that's maybe why they're so got the bullseye on the meat too right now to I'm
kill
talking
all
about
the animals.
I'm talking about our government as far as contaminating the meat and
that too,
putting shots in the meat and changing the DNA of the meat and all of that, because they know that will negatively impact the population. So, now's the time, search out your local farmers. If you and a family can go in together and lease some land and pay somebody to put up some barbed wire fence, put some cows out there, do it. I mean, become your own farmer go in together, get some people in your church together and lease some land and put some cows out there and grow your own meat, and you'll be way better off for it. So I just wanted to let y'all know where we are with that. Of course, we're growing our vegetable garden too. And we will eat seasonally as things are in season.
And we're excited about that. It's looking good. And we spent 5 years developing that soil, and that's why it looks beautiful. And it's exciting. I mean, and it's all in season. And in this crazy clown world 2.0, you just try failing and adjusting and rolling with it and just asking questions, you know what I mean? And it's not like, oh, it's this one thing or it's this other thing, or you know what it is? It's comfrey, and that's why I love David the Good. And I love when people mock stuff like that, because it's that foolish, you know what I mean? And we don't have to be so tribalistic, I guess, for lack of a better word. We can ask questions, we can share and talk about things, and that's the way normal, rational, logical people used to function. And they could disagree, and you could have a conversation and disagree and not hate each other and still disagree.
And sometimes you don't have all of those options. I mean, sometimes you still have to go to those stores and buy those things and do those things. And that's okay. If you're not at a place where you have that liberty yet, that's okay too. There's no judgment call on it. It's not like, oh, Brookshire's went woke, so I think everybody that shops at Brookshire's is just
a scumbag.
Yeah, they're not even real Christians. Like, that's
not like that.
That's not how it is.
It doesn't work.
But you have to have a goal, and you have to have your eye on your goal, and you have to sometimes make the hard decisions and make the hard calls and sacrifice to get where you're at.
Like Tractor Supply. If that was my only farm store within 100 miles, and I had critters and I needed stuff, I'm buying it at Tractor Supply. I'm sorry.
It's inconvenient. We have to drive all the way, like an extra 20 minutes out of the way to go to a different farm store.
And we loved all of our people. I love the manager at Tractor Supply. Yeah. We loved our people at Tractor Supply. But,
so when you can, do what you can.
Right.
Exactly. You just do what you can. And all of our little things will all add up to big things, but we can't just hide our head in the sand and, just say, well, it'll just be how it is. We have responsibility. We do have some freedoms left. So.
And, there are these vocally puritanical people, but from my experience, right, they claim that they do all these things and they're so puritanical and all the virtuous things they do are as pure as the driven snow. But in reality, what they're really doing, it's a dog and pony show, and it's a 52 fake out.
Yeah. So you have to.
We're just honest. That's all.
We're honest. And sometimes, it doesn't make sense because you're like, what? I thought they said this. What are they doing now? Well,
they have Amazon links. They make like $10 a month off of Amazon links.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, like if you knew, like, where's the link for the thing you just said? Like people, like we do that because people will be like, well, link all, link all the stuff. We need a link. Like we don't know what
I appreciate when certain people leave links for channels and stuff. When you leave a link, because then it's like, oh, it's so much easier. Oh, that was a tomato sauce. Okay, that was $5.
Right, and even if you link the Amazon item, that doesn't mean you have to buy it at Amazon.
No.
So man, it is. It's it's Clown World 2.0, yo.
It is. So anyway, so we talked about Azure. We talked about carnivore and our changes. That changes a lot, y'all, in the pantry. It changes the pressure. It changes the pressure a lot for me, like totally for me.
Yeah.
So did y'all have something? Third?
Did we need a third topic?
Yeah. What's the hot topic? Do we have an article?
I had a great article. I can't talk about it.
Yeah, but you can't talk about that.
because we don't have any strikes. I thought it was appropriate since, I mean, why not? We should at least have one strike. I mean, if you don't have a strike, you're not doing it right.
Can we talk about straight September?
It's fine.
Straight. Oh, well, that is, come on. That is so caustic. What an absurd notion that there would be straight September.
About that. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Straight September.
So for all cis straight people, we would like to celebrate with straight September.
Yes. We're going to make t-shirts.
We're going to make t-shirts. Okay. Straight September. And we did just make a t-shirt. All Transformers are Decepticons.
Yep.
And that t-shirt will be available at TheTexasBoys.com. Probably.
I can make it live tonight.
Yeah, tonight. So if you want All Transformers are Decepticons, and I get more and more nervous every time I talk about this, and DR asks me what I'm talking about, because if you can't figure that out, you just meditate on it just a little bit more, especially in context, and I will not have to explain that to you.
We can't.
And if I have to explain
you can email us, and
you can email me, and I'll explain it to you. And it'll pain me to explain it to you. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to make you feel dumb or anything.
So straight September, let's go. So we've dedicated the month of September. I almost said the wrong month.
This is brilliant.
We've dedicated the month of September.
And not only that, we're going to start celebrating straight September now.
Right. And we're going to start promoting it now, y'all. We're going to have t-shirts, and we're going to promote the traditional family
and in
traditional
honor
family
of
values.
Straight September, I want to give you the verse for June. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. And yes, I've already explained it to you, Carlos. So there you go. But that is the verse of the month of June as we begin the Straight September celebration.
Yes.
And we're going to be celebrating Straight September all year long.
All year round. Well, that's just like Pride Month. They celebrate all year round too.
Real.
Yeah. So I think that it's good. It doesn't mean that you hate anybody. But I just think that we need to not be the silent conservatives forever.
Also, this was the other funny thing that me and Dad actually noticed too, is on YouTube. Well, and you were talking about this too. On YouTube this month, they don't have their rainbows flashing and their gang signs everywhere. Also,
they're not. Check that out. And same thing with the Google.
The Google.
Oh no.
But
no.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You saw something?
Sorry.
You did?
You saw something?
The Google search, I thought after you said that, I clicked on it.
And then you clicked on it, and then they switched it.
They heard us. It's vile. It's so vile.
Oh, I knew it.
Don't click on it, y'all. Don't click on it. It looks.
Brother Paul, Straight September starting now.
It looks like, oh, what is that? That's very abstract. And then you click on it, and then
why would you click on it?
It's lots of video footage of things that you can't unsee. So
don't. You clicked on it.
Just
What's
don't
wrong
click on
with
it.
you, lady?
Because you said that Google didn't have
Oh yeah.
Prove
me wrong.
Well, here's the thing. I do have some good news that in light of Straight September, eBay and companies that are not, I don't know, eBay. I've been on there a few times buying different things from people directly because I try to look around now and not purchase things from certain places. And I have not seen any rainbows. I haven't seen anything on
September
on the main homepage of eBay.
Sell like hotcakes.
So I just encourage y'all, maybe eBay is a good place to buy directly from people. I've been able to save a lot of money on getting some different products and things on eBay. It's a little bit more clumsy and cumbersome than other platforms, maybe, but so what? It's okay. It's an inconvenience, but I don't have to promote an agenda that is destroying our society.
We dedicated the first 30 minutes of the live stream to Azure. So if you'd like to know, please be kind and rewind. We'll probably also break that out as a standalone. So
yeah. So
that's our new thing.
So anyway, pass the word along.
Straight September,
Straight
starting
September, talking about traditional family values.
You cis white privilege, white power freaks.
I just reject the word cis.
I know.
So
it sounds like
I don't use their terminology.
I got a cis growing.
I know. I was gonna say because cis always reminds me of like
a two is not a tumor.
You can go back and watch the beginning when we talked about Azure, and then we talked about
Azure.
carnivore, and now we're just
carnivore. So get your carnivore on,
Let's
y'all.
go, Brandon. Paul. Yeah. Yep. So that's it. Straight September. T-shirts coming very soon. If you have ideas for T-shirts,
my children know nothing about being kind and rewinding. All right, no, but they have not seen VHS tapes. Have y'all seen a VHS tape?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
My kids are in the
I've used them at my grandparents' house.
Matt
before.
used a VHS tape at his grandparents' house.
Yes.
So,
long time ago, but I know what they are.
Get to the chopper.
All right. You ready? We got to go eat dinner.
All right, y'all. We got to go eat our carnivore dinner.
All right. So that's it.
So y'all have a great night. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for
Don't
hanging out,
forget
y'all.
TheTexasBoys.com for all your non-vaccinated honey money to stock your pantry.
Yes, and be
until you
looking
cantry.
And be looking for a page on there for our upcoming meat options to purchase meat from us if you're local.
Carlos said bye. Matt.
And that's it. Thanks for hanging out, y'all.
See y'all. Have a good night.
Have a good night, y'all.